Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Will Do It For You. My name is Steven and I hope everyone's having a great day so far. And what I'm going to be talking about today is when you feel stuck in life. And this particular topic resonated with me because it's exactly how I was feeling this morning. I've noticed that provision has slowed down drastically and it's got me raising the eyebrow. So of course I went into prayer, just thank God for what I've earned so far. And even though the day is not over, it just made me start feeling like, man, when can I get out of having to do what I have to do to earn money? I'm very thankful that what I'm doing currently takes care of me, but it's just this inner restlessness of, wanting to fulfill my purpose and just do what I love to do. And I'm just like, God, when am I going to get out of this? Why do I feel stuck in a loop of this is what I'm just going to be doing until things change? And then, of course, it always pointed me back to the Bible. I went to Ecclesiastes. Of course, this is a very familiar passage in chapter 3, verse 1, where it states, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under the heaven." And the reason that this is important to remember is because it all starts with trust in God. When Moses had his staff and he put it in the air to part the Red Sea, they were stuck in the bind. They were at a standstill, and Moses was just holding that staff in the air, and he held it until finally God parted the Red Sea and created a clear path for them to go along where they needed to go to head towards the promised land. But it took them acting in patience and trusting that God would come through, and that's exactly what happened. But then when Moses did not trust God and got frustrated with the Israelites and struck the rock twice when they were saying that they were thirsty and dying of thirst, and he struck the rock twice to give them water, God then said, "You're not going to the promised land because you did not trust me." And that's what I always have to remind myself, is that when God has me along this path, I have to make sure that I trust God wholeheartedly. One thing I've also learned is that during this period of where I feel like, nothing's really happening, I'm doing what I can within the time constraints that I'm able to push forward my endeavors. I'm just like, hey, time is limited, money's limited, there's only but so much that I can do. And what I've learned is that this creates the opportunity to lean towards God even more, to focus on Him even more, to learn to trust Him, to be patient. Because even though when things don't seem like they are happening, God is always working in the background. And the one thing I've always realized as well is I'm going through this so that I can create a path for my son to not struggle and have to go through things just like I did, and he'll at that point be able to go through his own particular path, but maybe with better circumstances. That is the goal and the dream. But the one thing I've learned is that God can change things at the snap of a finger. He's done it plenty of times in the Bible, where Joseph was in prison. The next morning he woke up, he was in front of Pharaoh. Then by that evening he was second in command. So he went from prisoner to second in command overnight. And that's how quickly God can do it for us as well. The same thing with Job. Job went through his situation. They were, they estimate around 7 months or whatever of the time frame for it. And then after God spoke to Job and said, if you pray for your friends, I got you. And Job did that, and God turned everything around. And so we have to remember that during these times and these seasons of, it feels like, you're going around in a rodeo. You're just going around in a circle. Nothing really seems to be happening. And it's easy as well when it feels like other people are doing other things. And you're like, man, I just want some forward movement. And even for myself, I have to ask God, why, I feel like I'm wasting time. We don't have a whole lot of time on earth as it is, God. Why does it feel like I'm just wasting time doing something so pointless? Because what I do currently to make money. It makes good money, but there's no purpose to it. There's nothing. You're just doing what you got to do to make money, and that's it. And I'm like, God, I want to be utilized so much more than what I'm currently being used to do. When are things going to change? And then that's when this message hit me, because I was wondering what I was going to talk about today. And that's when the message hit me. It's like, you have to be patient. There's a purpose and a reason that he has me at this point. There's a purpose and a reason. And for me, it's building my faith even more. It's creating strength. And it's also making me learn to trust God even more than I thought I already did. Because I always have to remind myself, God can turn this around whenever he wants. Whenever he's ready. I am being tested. Do I really trust him? Do I really have faith in him? Do I really believe that he could turn things around? I'm going to have him wait. I'm going to have him wait. So my aim for this video is that before any major change, there's always a test. There's always a period of waiting. Think, Moses had to wait 40 years in the desert before his task started. David was sitting in a cave, waiting. Everybody has to wait. Jesus was waiting. He had to go in the desert. Abraham had to wait for his blessing. Job had to wait for things to turn around. The list goes on. And so I always have to remember, one, this is why the Bible's important, is because the lessons are right there in the Bible. We all have to be patient for what we truly desire. And even though it feels a little hard, and I'm speaking for myself, it feels a little hard because I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm not used to just not accomplishing anything and just sitting stagnant. I love to be doing something that's meaningful. But I also have to understand that this process is not something that I've ever experienced. And so when you do things that you've never experienced and you're not sure quite what to do, you have to wait. You have to wait for that clarity to come so that way you can move forward. And for me, I have to be patient so that way I can see the reason for the wait, and also to know the further instructions going ahead from the Lord. Because who knows what he's doing in the background, preparing whatever he's preparing. And if I wanted to be restless and frustrated and just try to go about things my own way, I could mess up things more than what I'm trying to do. Like, hey, you know what? You're going to damage the process by being impatient. So my aim and my hope is for anyone going through the same thing in life, do not worry. Hold on. Be patient. It's easier said than done. I know. I'm going through it right now. But I do trust and believe that one day God will turn things around and have some forward movement with some of these endeavors so that way I can start moving towards my promised land. Because, Lord, I want it. So I hope this video's been a blessing. Stay encouraged. Stay focused. Do what you can. Try your best to keep a great attitude. And I'll talk to you later. If you feel led to like, share, subscribe, definitely do so. Until next time.